recorded live at 4ZZZ Studios, Meanjin, Brisbane.
On 102.1 FM.
And broadcast across Australia on the Community Radio Network.
You're listening to Z Games.
Z Games brings you the best in gaming news, reviews, community and culture. Want to reach out?
Share your hot take?
Or do you just want to share your favourite game?
Find us on socials at ZEDGamesAU. Hello, you're listening to Z Games. My name is Zahra, and with me in the studio tonight is...
fellow named Paul.
And...
a taller person named Peter.
And...
I don't know why it's a competition, but you know.
Yeah,
it's
that seemed awfully... I'm not too sure about the energy that's being created here. Like, this seems like a rivalry. Is it because we all...
Well, you know what I never have to do? I never have to duck indoors.
Yeah, that's true.
What is going on here? Like,
Because he's shorter.
I looked away for like 2 seconds, and now you two have like some sort of beef with each other. That's okay.
It's a long time coming up, but we're announcing it here, the rivalry.
Oh no, maybe this will help bury the hatchet.
In each other's heads.
I was just about to say in somewhere
heads.
meaty and fleshy.
We're not here to talk
I'm
about...
very meaty and fleshy.
Oh, goodness.
Would you like to take control of the show again?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, so we've got reviews, we've got gaming music, and we've got news.
That we do.
And we've kind of got a lot to get through, so I'm just going to hop straight into the news by... who's this?
This week in gaming news, Fallout is canon. Fans and fiends of Fallout, you've probably heard about the upcoming live-action series coming to Prime Video in April, and if not, now you have. And here's what we know about it so far. It takes place 9 years after the events of Fallout 4 in the year 2296. It's supposed to be accessible to those unfamiliar with the games, but still contain the humour and vibe of the games. And one more thing. The events in the show will be canon according to Todd Howard. We view what's happening in the show as canon. That's what's great when someone else looks at your work and then translate it in some fashion. It's not the first time developers have been inspired by a live-action adaptation of their games, as The Last of Us creators also felt similarly inspired by the live-action show. What even is an indie game anyway? Dave the Diver is a game that was nominated for Best Indie Game at the Game Awards, which has sparked some discussion over what constitutes an indie game, as the team, Mint Rocket, that made the game, was a subsidiary of a multi-billion-dollar company, Nexon. Mint Rocket is a team of less than 30 people and was launched by Nexon as a division that specializes in games, focusing on the essence of fun. As a result, many people don't consider Dave the Diver to be a true indie. Jeff Keighley, host and producer of the Games Awards, has weighed in saying, you can argue, does independent mean the budget of the game? Does independent mean where the source of financing was? Does it mean the team size? The definition of an indie game is hard to define, and that's ultimately, it's up to the Game Awards jury to pick nominees. Why does Naruto sound like that? There's a Naruto fighting game out and about called Naruto X Boruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections. It's got fast-paced ninja battles and a story, but I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about the more awkward line deliveries that have been discovered.
Did that wake you up?
Understandably, it has faced some criticisms. However, the voice actors insist that they didn't actually record those lines entirely. The game covers snippets of events that have taken place across the franchise, and even dives into scenes that would be very familiar to those who have played Naruto games in the past. Except that when comparing the scenes, well, the original line delivery was just better. And fans aren't the only ones confused about it. Miley Flanagan, Naruto's English voice actor, has said, I can guarantee I did not say that line that way, and I guarantee no voice director of Naruto or the games would have me do that in that way.
Believe it!
Why does Silent Hill Ascension sound like that? The interactive television series, Silent Hill Ascension, has sparked rumors that the script might have been written by AI. Users can stream the episodes and collectively vote on choices in the series, influencing its direction. However, some scenes have been facing some scrutiny. One particular scene of note has the main characters out in the woods doing Silent Hill business, when a lone NPC comes across them in a flustered state. He declares he has been foraging for berries, and he has foraged for berries for many seasons, and he makes jams, and he offers the jams before disappearing into the forest, presumably to forage for more berries. Jacob Navik insists that every word in Ascension was written by real people. And now for some upcoming games. November 30th brings Biomutant for the Switch, Gangs of Sherwood for the PC, PS5 and Xbox Series X, Hawked for the PC, Pixel Cafe for the PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and Switch, This Means Walk for the PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One and Switch, Tin Reporter, Cigars of the Pharaoh for the PS4, Toastable for the Switch. December 1st brings Batman Arkham Trilogy to the Switch, and Dragon Quest Monsters The Dark Prince for the Switch. December 4th brings Make Way for the PC, and The Wagadoo Chronicles for the PC. December 5, you can see Born of Bro for the PC, and Tram Simulator Urban Transit for the PC. December 7th brings Arizona Sunshine 2 for the PC VR, PSVR 2. The day before, for the PC, Lego Bricktales VR for the Quest, Terminator Dark Fate Defiance for the PC, and Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader for the PC, PS5, Xbox X. That's it this week in gaming news.
Thank you so much for the news, past Zahra. That was phenomenal as always.
You should try getting the news from future Zahra. It would be very interesting.
That would be very interesting. I'll work on that for next time.
Thank you.
I'll just work on my time travel. I've figured out backwards, obviously, but forwards, still working on it.
Oh, forwards is very easy. There's a location in New Zealand called the Time Well. You just go down it and you lose like a day. It's amazing.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay, I'll give that a go then. Okay, so we just found out this morning, for anyone who's a Stardew Valley fan, you might have heard about the Stardew Valley Festival of Seasons concert tour, and perhaps you're one of those who were disappointed that you might not be able to attend. It's been expanded with more dates and locations, including Brisbane on April the 19th.
Woo!
So, if you're a Stardew Valley fan, if you like farming, if you like chill music, if you like, I don't know, a concert, if you just need something to do, Stardew Valley concert.
If you're really into passing the time, you're saying.
If you're into letting time progress in a manner that might be enjoyable.
But only saving at the end of each day.
Yeah. Then perhaps Stardew Valley Festival of Seasons concert is for you. I'm pretty excited about it.
I really hope that they do make everybody dress up just like all the characters from Stardew.
Well, I'll be dressed as my farmer.
Yeah.
Who looks, weirdly enough, exactly like me, but pixely.
Okay.
So
how are you going to pull the pixely off?
I've been working on a new makeup technique.
Mm-hmm.
It's very blocky. I don't have it on right now.
Just give everyone terrible glasses.
Or I can just give everyone terrible glasses.
That could work.
But it's not the only music thing that's happening next year.
Yeah. It's January. We've still got that Tony Hawk concert coming, where it's Tony Hawk and a bunch of skaters apparently doing a half pipe inside
doing
music
like
hall,
sick tricks or something.
but with bands playing the soundtrack of Tony Hawk Pro Skater. So cool. I think it's
so there are still tickets available for that as well.
Yeah, there's a day one for all ages and a night one 18 plus, and the night one has Body Jar added.
Yeah, so these are quite popular, and these are awesome. So get in while you still can, but not too quickly, because I still need to buy a ticket.
You're listening to Z Games at 4ZZZ.
You're listening to Z Games on 4ZZZ.
Oi mate, you're listening to Z Games at 4ZZZ.
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 Got a bit carried away.
My name is Zahra, and with me in the studio tonight is Peter and Paul.
Woo!
I beat you to it.
I was about to say my own name, and then I got cut off. Very well done.
But Paul, don't you have something to share with us today?
Yes, it's a horrible truth.
A horrible truth?
Of myself that I am.
Oh, no. But you're always sharing horrible truths about yourself.
Yes, whilst being of average height, I am shorter than Peter.
Yes, this is accurate.
Yeah, but that's because Peter is 8 feet tall.
So I am a giant.
He's a freak.
Yeah.
I am. Big freaking giant.
Anyway,
he's a certified freak 7 days a week.
Damn right.
He's got a...
Only at the daytime, though. Nighttime, I'm just sleeping.
Anyway, so we're here to talk about video games. And Paul, you're here to talk about a specific video game called...
I am. Called. The hand gesture That's referring to what I should call the game.
Yeah.
Well, this is a little game called Cuisineer, which is how I choose to pronounce it. I've heard others say Cuisineer. I'm like, that is wrong. I like Buccaneer, but with cuisine at the front.
Cuisineer.
This game, if you will believe it, is yet another one of those, I've come back to my hometown and I have to run a cafe.
No.
But I'll also have to go out and fight monsters in roguelike dungeons to get things for my cafe. So,
I mean, running the cafe is the dream nowadays.
Can't believe this keeps happening.
Well, I would say this game's primary focus is probably on the fighting the monsters, but the cafe side is still like relatively fleshed out. So the real question is, and we can cut to the quick chase here, is why would you choose this one over, say, Moonlighter or Dave the Diver?
Yep.
So this one, combat is pretty good. You randomized dungeons. There's 4 main areas you'll make your way through in the game, but it's the theming that I think is going to attract most people to here. This is a food-based game. When you go out, you're going to go and fight for food. So at first there's these sort of chicken creatures. When you kill them, you get either eggs or pale meat, they call it. It's just some chicken.
Yes.
But soon you start like sort of bushes attack you and you get leafy greens when you get them. Then suddenly there's ones that drop poison. But poison in this game, can you guess what the poison will be? I'll give you a little hint. This game's from Singapore.
What with the poison? That does not clear anything.
It is the stench of durian.
Oh, right.
You get durian grenades as well.
Okay.
So the aesthetically, it's very pretty. As we were saying, it's what Wakfu. It's Wakfu. Yeah. I was like, I know this. I don't know, but sort of very similar. You know, this sort of tangentially anime style. That's a bit softer as well.
Yeah.
Very nice visuals. Very easily readable, but it's, you know, all this fun like food ideas. Your main way of getting health is with bubble tea.
Ooh, that's correct.
That is an accurate statement.
Which then also, as you learn recipes and go up, I didn't realize this at first. When you open your cafe and you're running it for people, they're putting in orders, but also you can go and cook outside of that time, and you can take the food yourself, and that might give you certain elemental abilities and such.
Right.
So it's an extremely solid game. It's quite generous with the money you're making from running the cafe, so it's not a huge grind fest, but there are a lot of things to upgrade. So whilst you can generally every day buy new things, they're still going to take you a little while to go through. It'll probably take most people sort of 20-ish hours to get through the whole thing.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little less.
It's a pretty decent bite.
It took me so long to make progress in this game because I have a problem.
Oh.
You know, it's one of those games where you go out to the dungeon and you leave when you want to.
Oh, no.
So I would have my inventory completely full. Continuing to play would be madness. Pointless. Everything is full. But what if I found an ingredient that was better than some of the things I've already picked up? I should keep going. I died conservatively 90% of the time. And this game, like, at first it's sort of like taking away half my stuff.
Yep.
It was taking away like 80% of my stuff, like mid to this game. I was like, oh great, I left with like my eggs and my wood, the most useless things for me to have.
You went into a casino with $1,000 and walked out with 10 cents.
Here's where it gets worse. Okay, I'm dying a bit. I want like a bigger leeway. So I'll just go in and I can change the difficulty, and all that does is make you take less damage.
Yep.
I'm like, great. I'll fill up, I can explore, and then go, no, I just go longer.
So what you're saying is you love that gameplay element sort of idea, but you just didn't want to do the rest of it.
I've defeated a boss, had no health. It's like, but you know what? Instead of leaving, I'm just going to check out that next room, which is a combat arena.
It's a constant, like, just one more page.
I don't even take healing items with me. I am my own worst enemy.
Sounds like me in every cave in every RPG game. You keep pushing further in until you can't get out.
So if you have problems like me, this will not solve those problems. You need to learn to do that yourself. Overall, though, I describe this as a very solid game. The combat, while very good, does not excel in any particular way. It's very basic to begin with. I quickly got some equipment, which made it more interesting, and I thought that would then evolve in a more roguelike way. But you don't really pick up stuff on each run. It's just a randomization of levels. You're building up the equipment elsewhere, and you quickly get some interesting stuff, but then that plateaus very quickly. So by the time you're in endgame, you haven't really got anything that much fancier than what you've got by the mid game. So it's and the cafe is cute, but like the town's very nice. Got lots and lots of people to talk to. It's kind of a nice scale where I quickly got to understand who everyone was.
Oh, that's nice.
I actually know this character. Sure, they're just all asking me to could you go get me a fish? Could you go get me some leafy greens? But they had a little bit of personality that was nice. So if you just want a solid game of this type, if you like, and you've already done your Moonlighters and everything, and Dave the Dyer is wonderful, but it's also less focused. There's so much to do in that game. This is a focused thing with a really, really great theme. So if you love that theme, go, because it is very cute. I loved all the food puns and stuff going on. Oh, and people at your restaurant, you have to cook food and get them at the till. But once you get into the game, some people try to dine and dash.
Do you have to go murder them?
I've always wanted to chase down someone who dines and dash.
Yeah. Very serious question. This will refer to Zahra as well. Is there crabs?
Is there crabs?
Yes, there are crabs.
Okay.
Yes.
As an ingredient or a friend? Or both?
And food.
Okay. That's fine. I mean, food and friends, as I always say.
Yeah, I'm friends with all my food. Every morning as I devour my cereal, I say goodbye to my friends.
Yeah. Each cornflake. Goodbye. Loved you.
See you in the next life.
Yeah. That sounds like a nice little game. Yeah.
Yes.
My name is Zahra, and with me in the studio tonight is Peter and Paul. How are you two?
We're two peas in a pod.
Oh my god, this is so beautiful. You two started out with this rivalry, and now you two are your arms around each other. You're sort of caressing each other. We're
playing footsie under the table.
Oh, okay. Alrighty. Love is beautiful, but do you know what is
Thankfully, it's also blind.
And love is blind. But do you know what is also beautiful? And not blind?
You!
Me!
Was that the answer?
That wasn't the answer, but
it was a good suck-off answer.
It was good. It was really good. Yeah. I actually have a game review tonight for everyone. And all right. I think you two are going to have to share one microphone.
Come on down.
That's right.
Yes, we are losing microphones one by one. Actually, hang on. Let me try. Let's try that for now. But you know what? It's not about you two, actually. It's about me. Yes. I'm reading. I have a review of Forest Grove. You are a part of the Remote Forensic Bureau, and you're facing a case fraught with urgency and intrigue. Zoe, spelt Zoey, the orphan heiress of a tech empire, has gone missing. It has been 24 hours since she was last seen by her stepmother at 11 p.m. when she was tucked into bed. No one seems to know where she is, and you know it's a race against time. If she isn't already dead, she might be soon. Forest Grove is a detective game that focuses on exploration, all presented in a semi-realistic 3D style. With an array of mechanics and tools that you'll need to learn and understand, it's a bit of an intimidating game, but one that can be quite rewarding at times, and rather frustrating at other times. So, let's take a look at the facts. Zoe, 16 years old, is missing. She was last seen by her stepmother at 11 p.m.
Right.
Zoe has a history of illness, both physical and mental, and lost her mother to suicide. The loss of her father is also a presumed suicide. The suspects. Her stepmother, of course, she was the last person to see her. Mm-hmm. Zoe's boyfriend, Zoe's best friend, and Zoe's doctor are also suspects. But it's not enough to just suspect someone. You must also investigate. Shock horror. But it's not...
No, I'm just saying it's the best friend. That's it.
But it's the future. Hold on to your theory. But it's the future. So we're not going to the scene of the crime. Instead, we're going to use a nanodeck to recreate Zoe's home to the smallest details, including the traces of past conversations and DNA left behind. Ironically, this technology was developed by Zoe's family, and you must use this technology to find her before it's too late. So what does this mean? It means you have a totally accurate recreation of Zoe's home. Any evidence that could be found is available to you. You just need to find it and piece it together. A hairbrush would have DNA traces on it. A book has fingerprints, and a mug has saliva on it. Pick up an item, look over it closely, and record any traces you may find on it. You may come across a computer or a tablet belonging to Zoe or one of the parties close to her. It's usually password protected, but some people have dreadful password practices, which makes it all too easy to unlock and scroll through conversations, some of which are very private. What you find may be evidence or a clue. Maybe. But there is a tool available to you that helps you understand truly what may have happened. A tool that digitally recreates conversations based on remnants of sound waves, I think. The game didn't really explain it much further, but you know, sound leaves a permanent echo that can be perfectly preserved in a digital recreation of a house to recreate a whole spoken conversation that wasn't actually recorded. I guess. Don't think about it too much. The point is, you can literally listen to conversations from the past. Everything you discover, all the DNA traces you find, and the pieces of evidence are all logged in the evidence board. The more clues you find, the more complete the timeline is. Connections between objects and people are made, the locations of people and when are made clear. But the game never tells you, this is the kidnapper. You must gather evidence, and only when you're 100% confident that you found everything you possibly could, then you can have your parlor room scene. Then you can put together timeline events. Then you can identify where Zoe is. Then you can identify who the guilty party is. But who that is up to you. You might be wrong. You might be right. It's up to how you interpret the evidence, your deductive reasoning, and maybe just a bit of a gut feeling. Forest Grove is a very detailed game, and I really enjoyed finding clues, talking through my suspicions with my friends, and explaining why I think it's so and so. There are a lot of puzzles, ranging from riddles to hidden objects to just plain old snooping around. The game has a lot of atmosphere, and uncovering the backstory of this family and the dynamics at work is very satisfying. I love drama. I like a bit of gossip, and I like a bit of a oh my god moment. But this game has problems, and the biggest one is its tendency to crash at important key points. Ooh. Whenever I made a breakthrough in the case, it would crash. I used a new mechanic for the first time, crash. Even when I was about to declare who I think the kidnapper was, you guessed it, the game crashed. I'm guessing it's an optimization issue, but I won't go further into what I think the developers should have done to improve its ability to run. But it is a problem, and the process of booting up the game over and over when I'm making breakthroughs and connecting dots is very frustrating. Despite that, I did enjoy Forest Grove. I technically haven't finished it. I lost my motivation when I crashed for the 8th time in 3 hours. But I really like the game, that the game gives you all these puzzle pieces, and it makes some connections between the pieces. But ultimately, the shape and image of the puzzle is up to you. The actual solution is up to you. And I have my suspicions. I might try to confirm my theory at some point, but building the story of Zoe and her life is even more interesting. Emphasis on building the story. It's a lot of fun to suss about and draw your own conclusions. So, who do you think did it? The stepmom, the boyfriend, the best friend, maybe even Zoe's father? You tell me.
Father.
Definitely the best friend.
Those are good guesses.
So
yep.
I have a couple of questions.
Yeah.
Because adventure, detective-y things I'm always into. When it comes to like looking and getting evidence as such, how much is that? Is it a manual process, or is it just pick up an item, it goes into a list or something?
No. So you pick up an item and you do have to rotate it around. You do have to sort of zoom in on sort of like key areas, like the rim of the mouth or the handle. Let's say a mug in this example. So you look around those areas, and if you look very, very closely, you'll find a little a little something to highlight.
And that'll indicate that there's something of note there for you to
and then you sort of scan it and does a little beep, 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 because this is a future version of, what is it called again? Magnifying glass.
Right.
Enhance.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of it is just kind of like rotating an object around to find those little dots. But it's kind of really fun to find an object and be like, ooh, is this something? What could this mean? And it might be like, it just might be a pen that someone just used to sign a piece of paper. Maybe the piece of paper that was signed was the insurance payout forms. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a pity you didn't get to finish it because I'd be very interested in that. It lets you select anyone you want for your own reasoning. And if it does or does not confirm anything after that point.
Yes, I would like to see if it does confirm.
Because it reminds me of Paradise Killer from a few years ago where you could...
Yeah.
You can just... I mean, in that game, you can run straight to the end and just say, that guy. And they get screwed and you do whatever you want. Or you can actually work it out. But even once you know what goes on, you can still make someone the patsy if you decide.
Yeah.
And there's no confirmation. It's just you sort of role-playing the ending. So always an interesting way to play with a detective game.
Like the game has this confidence meter, and you need to fill out that confidence meter before you can make your declaration.
I can't just declare someone that I don't like. You can't just like
skip straight to the end. I tried that. I was like, I know who it is. It's stepmom. And the game was like, no, you're not confident. And I was like, I feel
confident,
but at least seems that you're allowed to get that confidence meter up for. Probably it's designed to do it for anyone.
Yeah, because it doesn't go like, oh, the stepmom was like here at this point with like a murder weapon or something. You have to sort of make those connections yourself. It's kind of overwhelming, actually, the amount of detail that's in this game.
Awesome.
But yeah, I just wish it didn't crash so much.
Oh, it sounds more like pay attention to it and see what current user reviews and what the dev notes say, because more stability sounds...
it officially released yesterday, and I know as of this morning it's still having those issues, so I'm hoping that it will get fixed, because it does put a bit of a damper on things.
Yeah, give it a week and see if they fix the optimizations and stuff.
Yeah. Anyway.
So you're listening to Zed Games, is that it?
You're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games.
Hello, you're listening to Zed Games.
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 Perfect. Thank you. My name is Zahra, and with me in this year tonight is...
Paul.
And...
Peter.
Oh, my pee-pals.
Yes.
I wish I didn't say that. I regret that. We're coming up to the end of the show, unfortunately.
We are.
I had fun tonight.
I did.
And I just wanted to know, what have you two been playing lately? Have you been playing anything interesting?
Nothing as
anything
interesting
boring?
as I wish I could have. I've still got a couple of games on my list to play sort of thing, but they're waiting for 2 weeks until I finish uni. Then I can enjoy the time and sit down and properly play them.
Ooh, can I get a title for one of these games?
Well, Sea of Stars.
Ooh.
I've finished the first chapter of that, and I'm just like, nope, I'm going to sit this one down, come back to it when I've got more time. And Final Fantasy 16, it's been there since launch.
When you get more time.
Yes.
When the games slow down and life doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, all that happens.
Yeah, well, at least a few of my tick boxes are gone completely.
Primarily, I've been trying to make my way through Alan Wake 2, but last night I just loaded up a game called Foot Clinic on the Switch, which I bought the enhanced edition for like $1 a while ago.
It's everything that I can imagine.
I wrote an article on it online. It's
I'm sorry, what is it called again?
Foot Clinic.
Clinic.
You're kind of a podiatrist, but also for some reason you put on tattoos, and like once a day someone will come in and you're like, you look bad, and then you give them a mouth swab because foot because I don't know if you're a podiatrist or if you're a nail technician or what. But yeah, you swab them and then you test them. It says, oh, now it's time to vaccinate them. And you just like spray them. But you charge them like $1,500.
What?
Nice.
It's not a game. It's
a fetish.
It's not quite up to fetish level, but I'm sure it could work for some people.
It's getting a bit suspicious there.
Yes. I was actually thinking about, because this is part of this thing I do, the Trash Enthusiast Society, which we do at PAX, and I was thinking about next year just making every game we do about feet. Because it's not a small genre.
No, it's not.
No. And I think I don't really want to unbox that can of worms, you know? Like,
We'll just pick something else. An ear game? Probably some ear games?
I don't want to think about an ear
Games
game.
inside the human body.
Games inside... Was there
is an excellent...
Was there ever an Osmosis Jones video game?
I don't know. There's a British game that was like made for free education called Privates that you like... it's to teach kids about venereal diseases and stuff.
Okay.
You go in, like it's a side scroller, and you go in, you're soldiers, you're there to wipe out the gonorrhea and everything. It's
right.
it's actually not a bad game. It might have been on Xbox as well. I think you can still get it on PC.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So the more you know.
I like the law accuracy.
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up there for tonight.
Let's delve deeper.
We'll think a lot about how many foot games are out there. And with that, good night.
Good night.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
And good luck.
And good luck. Have
Yes.
fun. I love you.
Have a great week.
Have safe fun.
Thanks for listening to Zed Games. If you'd like to listen to more, you can find us on the Community Radio Plus app
Or find us on socials at ZED Games AU.
See you next time.